welcome, and great to have you with us. And I just wanted to let you know we're shifting our formats a little bit. We're still going to run the webinars, but we expect, sitting down for an hour is a little bit harder now. Most people are back at work and there's a lot of stuff to do. So what we want to do is either you can sit down and watch the webinar live with us, or we're going to try and break the videos down into shorter segments, sort of 10-15 minute videos that you can watch when it suits you, and just in those smaller bite pieces. So, as we go forward, we may do, an interview or a webinar with someone, but we'll break their talk into segments on particular topics. And that way you're going to get some kind of short, sharp snippets of information without having to delve through an hour's webinar and that sort of thing. So great to hear. Today I'm going to talk about high performer building because we've had heaps of feedback from everybody, trying to work out who we are, what we do, and that sort of thing. We haven't delved into it much because we're not trying to make this a commercial thing. We're generally trying to serve the industry and create a space for a really important conversation. So what I am going to do today, though, I want to explain what we're doing and why, and I think it'll tie in and it'll explain a lot of what we've been doing and why we've been doing these webinars. So I'm going to kick into that. It'll only be sort of 10 minutes, and you're welcome to fire some questions through. I'll see if we've got time for a couple, and then I will throw up Cameron's update, which was recorded this morning, which you'll enjoy. Now, Cameron's update, we will have, it's about a 12-minute version today, and that'll be available afterwards in the short format. There's also, we're going to put on our website a long format, because after his talk, him and I kind of kept talking for probably a good 15-20 minutes, and there is actually some stuff in there that you might find really helpful. Nice things, not live, so you can skip through if it's not relevant to you at the time. So keep an eye out. The other thing is we often get questions, is this available later? We always put the videos up on the High Performer Building website afterwards, so you can jump on there, but it does take us a few hours to process them, download them, edit them a bit, and then upload them again. So bear with us. So I just want to talk a little bit about why we do what we do. The reality is not much has changed in the New Zealand building industry in the last 50 to 100 years. And we're an industry that I would say is allergic to change. And yeah, this is in the country of number 8 wire thinkers. And yet it took a $47 billion leaky building issue to get us to create this massive change of using a cavity batten, which in all honesty is probably the biggest change we've seen in standard construction for a long time, broadly speaking, obviously. Now, I say standard construction because this is where we focus our attention. There are some great ideas out there, but unless we can apply them to majority of construction, we'll never actually improve status quo. Dad may have even said it in his intro a couple of weeks ago that an old farmer told him years ago or something, never just change the old for the new. If you add the new to the old bit by bit, you'll slowly create permanent change. And I think that's why some of the big ideas struggle to take root in New Zealand, because it's hard to adopt them. They're kind of going against the grain. And what we're trying to do is work with the grain of standard construction, but make improvements along the way. So at the heart of trade innovations and high performer building as a brand is a desire to slowly change what standard construction looks like in New Zealand. Why? So that Kiwis get to live in better performing houses. One of the things that has restricted us for years now is supply chains that constrain new, innovative, better performing products from getting a foothold in the industry. There are agreements in the supply chain that really work for some people, but those some people are not the end user, who at the end of the day are the ones signing up a 25-year mortgage to pay for what we build and deliver them. Councils worry about liability, the architects, builders, subbies, we're all worried about covering our ass, and the supply chain will protect their bottom line like a Rottweiler that hasn't eaten in a week. Who is worrying about mum and dad who are paying for it all anyway? So, you know, Hydropanel, which is one of the products in our range, costs less, outperforms its direct competitors on every level. But have you tried it? Have you specified it? Have you even looked into it? BGC fibre cement has a solid reputation, beautiful smooth finish, and often costs less. You know, they've been in the market for 5 years and only gained 5% of the market. Why? Because everyone is just doing what they've always done and no one is stopping to explore the alternatives. They're flying along now, but boy, was it hard to get started. USG Boral plasterboard are international leaders in plasterboard the world over. They've had to innovate and compete with their product on an international level for years now. But Kiwis shrug their shoulders and say, oh, it's too hard to change. Why bother? I'll tell you, if we don't bother, our grandchildren will still be specifying the same old boards and paying whatever they're told to pay for them because there won't be another option. J-Frame. It's the only sticker timber on the market that has brands appraised, code marked and signed off by MB. Allied Concrete has more awards for their consistent quality than anyone else in their industry. And they actively adopt new technologies and systems that are going to deliver a better product for the end user. They're not just trying to protect their margin on the same old product they've always sold. You know, the roofing store is a real interesting one. Their steel comes from a plant in Korea, which is basically the internationally best steel manufacturer in the world. They can deliver outstanding quality consistently with amazing coatings and systems on them, and they can still bring it in and deliver it with a lower carbon footprint than the way that we're producing steel in New Zealand. So if you haven't looked at the roofing store for roofing and some of the cladding options, give them a look. Here's an interesting one for you to think about. In the state of California, the council introduced a few years ago, installed R-value testing for insulation. They didn't care what it said on the bag. If it didn't perform in the wall, the building failed its code of compliance. And they could even come back 4 or 5 years later and test the wall again to check that it was still performing. Now, I'm not going to go there and say that products sold in New Zealand don't perform, but the fact is that nobody in California still installs fiberglass bats anymore. They're all using spray and foams and fiberglass, but the problem with those is they don't breathe, and now they're causing moisture issues and mold behind the linings. Boy, would they love to have a product like Mammoth Insulation over there, manufactured in New Zealand. HNZ, Housing Corp, they've seen the benefits and they use it in all their homes and their re-insulation jobs, and yet high-end builders are afraid of spending a few extra bucks to give their clients insulation that actually performs. There's more, and I can go on and you can have a look at our website, but the question to you is, will you take the time to challenge the status quo? Will you join us in partnering with us and becoming certified to build or design high-performer buildings and shift our focus back to the end user? We need more builders like Grant from Precision Construction who are prepared to question why they do what they've always done. We need people like Louise and Kevin at the building business, helping us focus on performance, not just having paperwork that says, well, if it goes wrong, it's not my fault. And we need to support new products that are trying to offer us a better alternative, alternatives which give mum and dad the best house possible. Join us in leading this change, not for your sake, but for that of your customers. So here's where high performer building comes in. By compounding the advantages of a group of core products, the value proposition collectively is big enough to motivate change. There are enough benefits in our suite to make it worth you as a builder to change doing what you've always done. There's enough benefits for you as an architect to click a few more buttons and specify alternative products rather than doing the same as you've always done because it's easy and fast and you don't have to spend too much time looking into it. Most importantly, there's enough benefits to make mum and dad say, I want that house, thank you. I want to build with that builder. I can clearly see that I'm going to get a better home if I build to that specification. And that's why all our wording and marketing material is targeted to the end user and the benefits that they get by living or buying a high performer building home. End of the day, High Performer Building as a marketing brand is a sales tool to help sell houses and win projects by highlighting the tangible benefits of the product choices made in the core structure of the building. So please let us know if you'd like to look into building or designing high performer buildings. Join us in trying to create some change and create an industry that is fertile and ready to adopt the new. If you're a builder, you can become certified to build high performer buildings, and we can talk to you about that. It doesn't mean everything you build will be high performer, but it means you are open and prepared to offer it to your clients. Why not? Most people love it. If you're an architect, you can become certified to design high performer buildings. We're careful with our wording in those certifications to show that you are giving your clients options to make sure you're maintaining your integrity as a designer as well. So we'd love to hear from you. You know, again, it's been great. And like I've said, this is just a taster of what we're up, and we want to engage more with you on a one-to-one level. But please get in touch with us if that would be helpful. Look, if there's any questions, I'm not sure if there's been any through. Let me just have a quick look. Can councils do more from an R&D perspective, specify or recommend better products and standard details? Everyone will be. Yeah, there's this challenge, and Louise talked about this last week. I'm not going to go into that. Here's what I want to say. We have got to stop looking at the council as the people that should take ultimate blame, carry all liability, and cover our ass. Yes, they sign off building consents. Yes, they come and charge us money to inspect them and do all of that. But that can't be our focus. If we're not focused on delivering buildings that actually work, do your own due diligence. Don't specify a product unless you are satisfied it's going to work. We don't bring products into this range unless we know that's actually going to deliver a house that has a point of difference. So, you know, shift your focus. It was interesting, even in last week's talk, there was still lots of questions coming through. Builders wanting to blame architects, saying, well, whatever they specify, we've got to do it. So why should we be liable? Architects saying the builders change our specifications anyway. There's so much focus on who's going to be left carrying the baby that we forget to actually focus on, does this thing bloody work? If it bloody works, then we've got nothing to worry about. Yeah, there'll be issues, but, you know, that's life. Have you been negligent? Have you done your due diligence? That's the focus. Is this building that we're all putting this time and money into going to perform? That's the thing. So I can't see too many other questions in there, but it looks like there's some good feedback. So we're striking a nerve, and that's awesome. Like I say, jump on our website. Love to hear from you, and thanks for joining us. Cheers.